Hello ladies and gents, I'm the Rev, and this is the beginner's guide to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. And today I'm going to show you what exactly you get when it comes to your starting materials. If you choose the gunship option, if you choose the frigate option, or if you choose the cruiser option. First up, we're going to do the gunship. I'll go over all of the ship's stats, its weapon systems, and its subsystems. Then we'll move on to the frigate and the cruiser. All of them will be time-stamped. Your first option is the Aurora gunship, and you can of course change the name. And it has 1500 whole cargo, which is how much stuff that you can pick up in space, is 95, speed 600, maneuverability 18, and then these are all your resistances, and it comes with a little bit. Then we have our Remington-To light weapon, which is a railgun, DPS 51, EPS 4, rate of fire 0.3 seconds, so it fires every 0.3 seconds, minimum damage 16, maximum damage 18, range 1640, energy cost 1.4, hit points 150, and hit points basically are added to your overall hull, so makes your hull stronger. Battery energy 30, and turrets 4. Turrets you want to keep an eye on because some ships have more, some have less. And we have our ion cannon, the heavy weapon, the Shockwave. DPS 157, reload 5.2, so it takes 5.2 seconds to reload a round, which is pretty slow. Range 6,410, blast radius, which is how big of an area it'll affect, 750, minimum damage 420, maximum damage 1220, hit points 500, so it is significant, and ammo 10, which is how many rounds you will have per heavy weapon, and you will have ships with multiple heavy weapons. Now we move on to the ship systems. First we have the grappler, and the hit points are 100 to the hull, firewall nothing, range 2300, which is how far our ship can be for you to attach your grapple to it, and 0% on the overload. Sensors are of course what's around us. Hit points are 100, firewall is nothing, sensor radius is 20,000 meters, and detection is 10%, and that would be detection of cloaked objects. At 10% you're not going to get much. Then we have our shield. Hit points are 100 to the hull, strength is 1750, recharge is 35 seconds, reboot, if it gets shut down by another way, is 2.5 seconds. It has no firewall, and it has biometric 20%, which means it makes it harder for people to beam on or off your ship. Then we have propulsions. We have our hit points of 100, firewall 0, speed 600, maneuverability 18, and sublight 1.5, and you will want to use enhancements on this. And then finally we have the transporter, which is the hit points of 100, firewall 0%, range 10,000, and deflection 0. Next up, I'm going to show you each of the gunships that you are allowed to start with, and I'm going to show you all of the light weapons, heavy weapons, how they're distributed, and what all of the subsystems are. When you choose the frigate option, you get a Legionnaire. Again, you can change the name. And the hull is significantly higher than the gunships. We're looking at 11,000 here. Cargo 180. Speed about the same as the gunship. Maneuverability a little slower. And the resistances are around the same. Light weapons and heavy weapons are a little different. First, we have the Remington 3, which is an upgrade from the Remington 2 we had on the gunship. We have the same heavy weapon, the ion cannon, but as we move to the side, we see things really start to change. So we have a SBR-3 light weapon. That's a railgun, but the DPS is almost, in fact, it is better than our lead weapon on the nose of the ship. And it's actually almost balanced the same, but it has 3 turrets instead of 2. Then we have the Servius heavy weapon. Now it says the DPS is only 102. It's a real slow reload, 5.6 seconds. Range is 3,510, but the blast radius is higher. Minimum and maximum damage are lower. Hit points are 500, which again goes to our hull, and the ammo's 25 versus 30. And it looks like we also have a spot here to put another heavy weapon, so we would have 4 on our frigate. Now we look at the grappler, which is at 550 for the hit points, firewall 0, range 2300, overload 0. Sensors, hit points 550, firewall 0, sensor radius 20,000, same as the gunship, and detection 10%, same as the gunship. Now the shield generator, hit points 550, strength 2500, recharge 37.5, reboot 6.5, firewall nothing, and biometric 20. You can start to really see some of the differences here. So then we have propulsion, hit points 550, firewall nothing, speed 600, maneuverability 15, and sublight 1.5. As the ships get bigger and bigger, their ability to turn and move in tight corners does get worse. And then of course we have our transporter, 550 to the hull, firewall 0, range 10,000, and deflection 0. Now I'm going to show you, of course, the rest of the ships that you get to choose from and all of their weapons and subsystems. Your fourth option brings you a cruiser, which is a significant upgrade from a frigate. We're looking at a hull that's 4,500, cargo 2,300, speed is the same, maneuverability is even slower at 13, and then of course pretty much the same when it comes to resistances. Now the weapons and the ship's subsystems significantly change when you get into cruiser. You've got a few more things to keep your eyes on. So we'll start with, of course, the light weapon, the Scythe-To, which again is an upgrade from what we had in the frigate. We still have our ion cannon, but now we've got ion cannons on both sides. And we've got our Ripper-To, which is actually stronger than the Scythe on the sides here. 148 is the DPS versus 102. So as always, you can flip these around. You can put them anywhere you want. Now here's a big change. A hangar. You can have a small group of fighters go and attack a specific ship that you want it to, or help protect you. Our grappler now is at 2250 for the hull points. So our ship's hull can take more of a beating. Hit points 2250. Again, no firewall. Sensor radius. Detection is 10%, so it's the same as the other two ships. Then we have our shield generator, and the hit points are 2250, strength 15,000, recharge 240 seconds, reboot 8 seconds, firewall nothing, and biometric 200%. Now the recharge looks like a really big number, but depending on how much power you put into that system and what your enhancements are, you can greatly reduce the recharge. So as we get into bigger and bigger ships, you're going to see some of these great disparities, and it's a question of balancing them with enhancements and upgrades from your station. Now we move on to propulsion, and we are at 2250 again for the hull, firewall nothing, speed 600, maneuverability is down to 13, sublight 1.5. Finally, we have the transporter, 2250 for the hull, firewall 0, range 10,000, deflection 0. Now I'm going to show you the rest of the cruisers that you get to choose from. Of course, all of the weapons and subsystems. I'd like to thank you for watching today. Please like, favorite, and subscribe. Help me out and help the devs out. These guys have really done a fantastic job. So please share and do your best to talk to your friends about it. As always, keep your heads down, your guns up, and I'll see you again real damn soon.